All right, what is up, guys? It is Zack Plauché, and this is the last video in the How to Work From Home series. This is part 7, relationships. Now, relationships is not an easy subject to put into a single video. Basically, I was gonna do a mind map, and I even did a video before this that was really long, but it wasn't really like structured in any way. So, basically, relationships when working at home comes down to two things. One, well, yeah, so one of those, respect. Respect is basically the bread and butter of any relationship that you want to be successful. This is what normally, if you find yourself being alone quite often and are having trouble with relationships in general, it's somewhere between some lack of respect for either other people or lack of respect for yourself. Now, the key to kind of find where that lies is a difference between being selfish and a difference between, it's a key distinction. So, some people who wrongfully believe this, they think it's, some people somehow acquire the belief that it's okay to be selfish, which is winning at the expense of another person. When it comes to relationships, you want to be always thinking about win-win. The word that I would use instead of being selfish, that you might want to research on your own in your own time, there's another word called self-regard. Another way of putting that is self-respect, but self-regard works more here. The difference is when you're self-regarding, like when you regard yourself in a, let's say, high esteem, basically you're taking your own considerations first. Like you take care of yourself first, but it's not necessarily at the expense of another person. It only becomes selfish when it's at the expense of other people. Now, when you have self-regard, high self-regard, let's call that, you're in a position where, one, you know what you value. So let's say you're someone who values like minimalism, for example, and then someone tells you that you're being too clean or whatever. In that case, typically okay, that's not really a good example. Either way, self-regarding is something to where you just hold yourself in high esteem and aren't really causing any harm to other people at like whatsoever. So you're being respectful. Like if you want to record a live or do some like Facebook talk, you discuss with other people who are in your environment. It could be friends, family, whatever, your significant other, doesn't matter. Every time I start my videos, I let my wife know that I'm starting a video. Or like I would like to start a video soon. When can I do this? And typically after that, it's just an understanding of when that's okay for both of us, and like when the appropriate timing is for that. So respect, that's number one. The next part I would say would most likely be appreciation. So this is just a matter of letting people in your life know that you appreciate having them there. And both of these go really deep. Some things you can do is just add like please to your requests, and then say thank you when something does or when someone does something nice for you, or just a bunch of people that you appreciate. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, that's like, okay, that's not all there is to it. That's just a really high level thing and way to work with people around you, is just let them know like what you're doing, or just what your own boundaries are. Of course, depending on your situation. Well, okay. And boundaries are a lot more for you than they are for other people. So your boundaries aren't meant to change other people. They're about you respecting yourself enough to ask someone not to do something in a polite and gentle way. And if that's not okay with them, then maybe they're not the right person to be in your life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So instead of really like breaking down and diving deep into each of these topics, I decided that I'm just going to give you some really good resources that will most likely improve your relationships and not send you down some weird path of, well, anything weird. So I'm going to show you a couple of people. The first one being, we're going to look at a guy named Mark Manson. He wrote a really great book on relationships. Well, it's kind of on dating, but I would say overall it's more on relationships. And like in general, it works for that, and it definitely helped me in mine. So Mark Manson is a really great author, writer, and you could just say person. I actually don't know him very much personally as a person, but I did read some of his books, and they're really cool. So I would assume he's a cool guy. Now, he wrote a book called Models. Let's see if we can find that. Books, there we go. Yeah, so love is not enough. That's one thing. Everything is fucked. It's the art of not giving a fuck. Models, yeah. So Models is a book that was originally written like more for men. However, a lot of women have read it, and even like my wife recommended that I read it because there were some things in there that I might find useful, and I definitely did. She was very right in showing me that. Really, for most people, this is one of the best books I could recommend. This is more for like dealing with other people. The only other book I would say that I could really think of to share with you guys would be Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits. Yeah, so The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is an amazing book that I've gone back to basically ever since I got into self-development. It covers how to work not only with yourself, but how to work with other people and make everything in your life a win that's just synergistic and awesome. These things will take time to implement, and you'll get better at them as you expand your knowledge and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to end the video right here, I'm going to stop the main content right there because that's pretty much all you need to know. Just go read those 2 books, and I can almost guarantee that your relationships will improve. As long as you make some of the changes and some of the actions that are recommended in that book, in those books, you will really, you should notice a difference at that point. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this was the final video of the How to Work From Home series. This was more of like a bonus video. I was originally only going to do 6, but I thought some people might need help in this area. And those 2 resources are your next steps in general if you need to improve in this area. Yeah, that's the end of the first series I've ever recorded, and it was a lot of fun doing. So if you liked any of the content that you saw over the last week, or if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Well, please consider subscribing. That would be really cool, and I would appreciate you. I realize that doing a video every single day is kind of a pain with my current setup, so I'm going to be moving to 1 video every single week. Just because it's a lot. it's not a small amount of recording time, and I'm not even doing anything fancy. But yeah, so that's that. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched all of the videos, that's amazing. I love you. If you watched only this one, that's still cool. I still love you. You're awesome. Yeah, thanks for checking it out. All right, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.